Or you can give me a present.
I would assume you got some nice juices right now?
Yeah. Microphones that picked up a little too much. To golf players trash talking no one was supposed to hear. These are the 20 craziest hidden golf chats you didn't see on TV. We're at the 2015 PGA Championship at Whistling Straits, where 1,200 bunkers dotted the landscape and rules confusion was as common as Lake Michigan wind. Zach Johnson finds himself in one of those waste bunkers, staring at what could be a stone, could be compacted sand, or could be his ticket to a 2-stroke penalty.
Stones, right? Yes, sir. Okay, a couple of questions. One, can I remove them in front of my ball?
The official says yes. But then Johnson asks the tricky question. How do you even determine what's a rock? The rules official explains that the player has to make that determination themselves, and there's risk involved.
Okay. All right, well then I'm not going to touch it because I can't. Even if you're here?
Then it comes the perfect Zach Johnson moment.
Thanks for nothing. No, I'm just kidding. You're welcome. Thank you.
Classic Johnson, frustrated with the situation, but keeping his Midwestern politeness intact. Next one takes us to the moment when confidence becomes catastrophe. Year 2022. Third round at the BMW Championship. Jordan Spieth is tied for the lead, riding high after a solid start to his round. But on the par 4 fifth hole, the setup is brutal. Water guards the front and left side of the green, just 158 yards away. There's maybe 10 yards of margin between safety and disaster. But Spieth is a 3-time major champion who built his career on pulling off shots that others wouldn't even attempt. Michael Greller, his caddy, sees what's coming and tries to be the voice of reason.
What's wrong with hitting right here, having a wedge to 15 feet?
Spieth's weighing his options. He thinks he can get it up and out of the bunker.
The chances of it going up into that water are so slim.
He's not worried about the water. If he comes up short, he'd have the same wedge shot from 20 feet to the right. A 9-iron is an option, but going long seems like the better play.
I think I'm just trying to hit it really high.
He's already convinced himself this shot is possible. Greller keeps trying, suggesting different options, but the die is cast.
This one's on me, all right?
Okay. All right, I trust you.
Spieth hits it fat straight into the water. Double bogey, out of the lead. Sometimes confidence and disaster are separated by the thinnest of margins, which brings us to the next, and this one will restore your faith in golf. Back in 2017, Phil Mickelson is having his best week in months, finally showing signs of life after a brutal season. But standing in the rough on the par 5 18th hole, nearly 280 yards from the green, Phil finds himself facing a classic Mickelson dilemma. But this time, Phil decides to consult an expert. Not his caddy, not a fellow pro, but a young fan named Riley who's been watching from the ropes.
Would you go for it here out of the rough, or would you lay up?
If I could hit my 3-wood 260, I would probably go for it.
Phil pulls the 3-wood and lets it rip. The shot comes off perfectly, and as he walks past the ropes, he delivers the perfect cherry on top.
Riley, you can caddy for me anytime.
Phil meant it. The following year, Riley actually got to caddy for Phil during the Pro-Am. Sometimes the most profound wisdom comes from the simplest sources. And sometimes a kid with a 3-wood dream can remind a legend what golf is really about. Next up takes us to a moment that perfectly captures competitive spirit. 2023, the final round of the U.S. Women's Open at Pebble Beach. Charlie Hull stands in the 18th fairway, 3 shots behind leader Allison Corpuz, with her ball sitting directly behind the massive cypress tree that has tormented golfers on this hole for decades. And the conversation with her caddy Adam Woodward is about to become legendary.
But you know the saying, shy kids don't get sweets.
Hey?
Hull's making her case. They're 3 behind. Why lay up?
Well, I think you can probably change something up in that front bunker.
Woodward's on board. Just commit to the line.
Yeah, I'm not going to hit a tree, right?
No, you're nowhere near it.
Hull has convinced herself and her caddy that this audacious shot is not only possible, but necessary. She needs an eagle to put real pressure on Corpuz.
Do you like this play?
I like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Just commit to it. Don't have to do it hard. Just nice and smooth.
Hull pulls the 3-wood and commits completely. The shot is pure, threading under the tree branches with a perfect draw. But the ball curves just a touch too much and finds the left bunker. No eagle, but no regrets either. Sometimes getting your sweets means being brave enough to go for them, even when the odds are against you. Coming in next, it's the final round of the Players' Championship at TPC Sawgrass. Jon Rahm holds the 54-hole lead for the first time in his career on the PGA Tour. Standing on the par 5 11th tee, he's tied with Rory McIlroy and positioned to claim the biggest victory of his young career. Then, his drive finds the left fairway bunker, and what should be a manageable situation becomes the defining moment of his tournament. Trees block his direct path to the green, water guards the front and right side, and the wind is gusting from left to right. His caddy Adam Hayes sees only one sensible option.
I see I'm going to get you to the flat over here. You have a flat lie. You have 100.
But Rahm isn't buying it.
The problem is I'm not confident in hitting that shot. It's not a good lie.
Rahm's competitive fire is taking over. He's the 54-hole leader of the Players' Championship. He doesn't want to play safe. He wants to seize the moment. He envisions hooking an 8-iron 220 yards over water, around trees, against the wind. Rahm pulls the trigger on the aggressive shot. The ball hooks left, never comes close to the green, and finds the water with room to spare.
This is going to go right in the water.
The bogey that follows costs Rahm more than just a stroke. It cost him his composure, his momentum, and ultimately the tournament. Brandel Chamblee would later call it the most baffling decision ever struck here at this event. Next up, and this one's all about timing. February 9th, 2025, Doha Golf Club. The final round of the Commercial Bank Qatar Masters is reaching its climax, and Hao Tong Lee finds himself in a familiar predicament on the 18th hole. His drive has drifted right into the rough, the exact same spot that had caused him trouble all week. But this time, everything is different. This time, the tournament is on the line. Lee stands tied for the lead with Rasmus Nergård Peterson already in the clubhouse at 15 under. He needs birdie to win his first tournament in nearly 3 years, par for a playoff. The pressure is suffocating, and you can sense the tension as Lee and his South African caddy JD De Beer begin discussing their options for the approach shot on this reachable par 5. This isn't their first rodeo with this decision. Just the day before, they'd faced the exact same dilemma on this hole. Now, facing the same scenario with even higher stakes, the conversation becomes more intense. Lee's competitive fire is burning, but reality starts creeping in.
What's the worst? In the water, bogey.
That's not how we win golf tournaments.
In that moment, everything crystallized. This wasn't about one shot, it was about championship mentality. Moving to this one, the Players' Championship 2021 third round. Justin Thomas stands on the par 5 16th hole at TPC Sawgrass, with his caddy Jimmy Johnson doing the kind of granular analysis that most golfers never even consider.
Is that blowing pretty good up there right now? Yeah, good 204 into the wind.
But wait, something's not adding up. The wind readings are inconsistent, and they need to figure out what they're really dealing with.
He's not filling anywhere.
Thomas is starting to think it might be a 5-iron situation.
I mean, that 204 playing.
12, 215?
Yeah.
They're dialing it in. Thomas likes the 210 shot with the 5-iron. This is where experience meets instinct. Johnson knows exactly what Thomas can do with a 5-iron at 210 yards, and Thomas trusts that read completely.
I'm going to start that camera over there and cut it pretty much to it.
Thomas has his target, his plan, and his club. The ball finished just feet from the hole for an easy eagle opportunity.
I like that. Yeah.
Now, this brings us a perfect example of why players get paid to play. May 2018, Fort Worth Invitational at Colonial Country Club. Kevin Na is having the round of his life, standing at 7 under par in his final hole of the day. But his ball has found trouble in the rough off the 9th tee, and his approach shot has careened over the green, settling against a temporary grandstand. After taking relief, Na finds himself in the rough with over 90 feet to the hole, staring at a massive ridge running through the middle of the green. Most players would be thinking, damage control, just get it close and move on. But Na isn't most players. His longtime caddy Kenny Harms has other ideas though. The veteran looper sees the setup and immediately goes into protective mode. This isn't the time for heroics. This is the time to be smart, conservative, and protect what's been a career round.
Straight up in the air, which means it's not going to go that far, and then you're hitting a 40-yard cut.
Harms isn't convinced. He's worried about the danger.
Yeah, but over the green's dead.
Kevin trusts his shot. He's going with it.
No, I'm not okay with either one of them. I'm going with this.
Then, Na executed the shot perfectly. The ball rolled over that intimidating ridge, caught the right edge of the cup, and disappeared. Birdie, 8 under 62. solo lead. Into the next, and it's March 2023. Third round of the Valspar Championship at Innisbrook's Copperhead course. Matt Wallace is in contention at 5 under par, grinding for his first PGA Tour victory. Wallace's tee shot on 18 finds the asphalt cart path. He's made his decision. He's hitting it off the concrete rather than taking a drop into the pine straw. His pre-shot routine begins. Then Sam Bernard, his French caddy, asks, "Shall we drop it?" The question itself isn't unreasonable. It's exactly the kind of strategic input caddies provide. But the timing? Man, Wallace is not in the mood for that, so he just go mad and says, "Shut the f*** up," as he turns toward Bernard in frustration. Wallace now has to regroup on a shot that was already borderline impossible. He makes contact with the path first, tops the ball, and comes up 30 yards short of the green. The back and forth didn't stop after the shot. Both player and caddy were still fired up. For Wallace, it wasn't really about the advice itself. It was about the timing, wrecking his focus right when he needed it most. And now, where even golf's golden boy reached his breaking point, the 2015 U.S. Open at Chambers Bay. Jordan Spieth, the reigning Masters champion and golf's new poster child, is in the hunt for his second major of the year. He's been the picture of composure all week, handling the quirky link-style course with the maturity of a seasoned veteran despite being just 21 years old. But standing in the massive bunker complex on the 18th hole, Spieth is about to lose it completely. His ball is sitting against the tall fescue grass on the lip. He knows what's about to happen. The grass will grab his club and kill any momentum. But with Michael Greller urging him to stay positive, Spieth takes his shot anyway.
Just don't worry about it. Get it to the next shot.
Yeah.
Come on. This is the dumbest hole I've ever played in my life.
The ball clipped the fescue, lost all energy, and barely advanced 14 yards into the rough above the bunker. Double bogey. From there, Spieth would need a miraculous 90-foot chip shot just to salvage his round. Next up, well, you know the Masters. It's a tournament where even whispering too loudly can get you side-eyed. Everything's sacred, the azaleas, the green jackets, and especially the rules. So when Brooks Koepka fired an electric 65 in round 1 of the 2023 Masters, he tied for the lead, but also accidentally stepped into some very awkward territory. It happened on the 15th hole. Koepka had just hit a perfect 5-iron from 231 yards, dropping it to within 24 feet for another birdie chance. But as he handed the club back to his caddy, something strange played out on camera. Ricky Elliott, Koepka's longtime caddy, seemed to say 5 out loud, possibly to Gary Woodland's caddy, who was just steps away. And Koepka? As he took off his glove, he subtly flashed 5 fingers. Not overtly, not obviously, but just enough for the broadcast to pick up. And for eyebrows to start raising. Now, if you know the rules of golf, you know this is a big deal. Giving or asking for advice between players or caddies during a round is a major no-no. It's a breach of etiquette, and in some cases, a breach of the rules. The tournament reviewed the footage, and in the end, the Masters Committee said there was no evidence of wrongdoing. No penalty, case closed. But the internet, not so quick to move on. Slow motion replays, freeze frames, body language breakdowns. It all turned into one of those did he or didn't he moments that made Koepka look more like a magician, pulling signals out of thin air than a guy keeping his nose clean. He kept the score, but the side eye lingered. And for a place as proper as Augusta, even a wink toward rule bending can feel wildly inappropriate. Coming next, it was the final round at Live Golf Adelaide, and Kevin Na's team, the Ironheads, was in striking distance. One shot back, the kind of Sunday tension where every swing matters. And for most of the day, Kevin delivered 6 birdies in 16 holes, clawing his way up the leaderboard. Then came the 9th, his final hole of the day. Kevin's tee shot found a deep, sandy mess under the trees. His first escape attempt failed. His second hit a branch and came right back at him. And that's when things boiled over. Broadcast mics caught every word. Seriously, this is F. His caddy tried to calm him down, breathe, reset. But the damage was already done. Kevin huffed, swapped clubs, and limped to a double bogey. Just like that, the Ironheads dropped from near the top to 6th place. Kevin's round still looked decent on paper, a 3 under 69. But that final hole became the headline. Profanity, frustration, all caught live on air. It wasn't just a meltdown, it was a full-on broadcast moment. Raw, unfiltered, and very inappropriate for a mic-it-up Sunday finish. This one brings us to the 2024 Live Golf event at JCB in England. Jon Rahm was closing in on something big. his first win since joining Liv. The pressure was heavy, the crowd was rowdy, and by the time he reached the 16th hole, things were getting a little too loud. Rahm had just walked up near the green when it happened. A fan in the gallery, persistent and way too vocal, shouted something right as Rahm was setting up his pitch. Rahm paused, visibly irritated, and muttered, "Hey man," slapping his thigh in frustration, and then his caddy stepped in. Adam Hayes, normally cool and composed, didn't just whisper his disapproval. He turned and fired back at the heckler, clear as day on the broadcast mics. "Yeah, it's gobbled up. Yell louder when we're in our backswing, kid." Security quickly moved in, but the moment was already out there. Not something you expect to hear at a golf event, especially not from a caddy with cameras rolling. Still, the message was clear. Rahm's team wasn't going to let heckling slide. And despite the outburst, Rahm stayed focused, saved par, and went on to win the tournament by 1 shot. Which takes us to the next. See, for years, golf fans had a front row seat to one of the sport's most bitter feuds. Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau couldn't stand each other. It started with slow play comments in 2019, escalated through social media wars, and reached peak toxicity with that infamous eye-roll moment at the 2021 PGA Championship. You remember it. Brooks was doing a routine interview when DeChambeau walked past in the background. The sound of metal spikes on concrete was all it took. Koepka's eyes rolled so hard they nearly fell out of his head. The feud had everything. Fans started calling DeChambeau Brooksy at tournaments, getting kicked out for heckling, while Brooks offered free beers to anyone who supported the trolling. Maybe because of all that, I don't have a logical explanation for this video.
Finally, after him kicking my ass, you know?
Yeah.
They're laughing about their past battles. Brooks admits it wasn't much of a match.
No, it's good. It's good to team up.
And they'd actually talked about partnering back at the 2021 Ryder Cup.
So it's good to be able to team up and see what we can do.
Wait, what? These two are laughing together, joking about their past battles, actually excited to be partners? Well, you know what they say. There's a fine line between love and hate. Up next, the final round at Royal Portrush was slipping away. Sergio Garcia had already endured 3 frustrating days, and Sunday was turning into another grind. Every shot felt heavy, every miss compounded the last. On the 5th hole, Garcia stepped up to the tee. He needed something good. Anything. The drive was terrible, a pull, slicing away from the fairway into trouble. Again. Garcia's jaw clenched, his shoulders dropped. The anger that had been simmering all week finally boiled over. Without looking back, he flicked his driver over his shoulder, directly toward his caddy. The club tumbled through the air. Victor Garcia, Sergio's own brother, stood frozen as the driver landed near his feet. The gallery gasped audibly. Phones came out, eyes widened. Sergio walked off the tee without a word. No apology, no acknowledgement. Just silence. Victor picked up the driver and followed. Professional as ever, but the damage was done. The moment had been captured. The video would go viral within hours. 20 seconds of pure frustration that encapsulated everything wrong with Garcia's week. This wasn't a caddy Garcia could fire. This was family. And somehow, that made it worse. They walked the rest of the hole in awkward quiet, the tension hanging between them like fog over the Irish coast.